Hey guys, it's me, as you can see, and I'm back with a very special video. In this video, I'm going to be answering a question that I tend to get a lot, and that question is, how did you grow your hair so long? So if you're interested in hearing my 8 tips on how to grow your natural hair long, strong, and healthy, then please stay tuned. My first tip, which is actually going to be tip number 8, is to learn your hair. How do you learn your hair? Through experimentation and research. Now, when I say experimentation, I mean experimenting with techniques as well as products. Now, during this process, you may become a little bit of a PJ, which is AKA a product junkie. I know I did. I went full throttle into my natural hair journey back in 2009 with my big chop. And after I big chopped, I was like, okay, now what do I do? And that's when I found YouTube, and I watched a lot of gurus, and whatever product they said that they used that gave them great moisture or gave them a great twist out, I ran out and I purchased it. A lot of those products worked for me. The majority of them didn't. But I would not have known that had I not experimented with products and trying different products and see what works in my hair. You also want to try different techniques. YouTube, again, is a great resource for looking at people's techniques. Now, it can get a little overwhelming because everybody does things differently and everybody does their own thing. So it can be a little overwhelming, but you can look at how a person achieves, say, a twist out or a wash and go. Try it for yourself, but then put a little twist on it, twerk it, and make it work for you. So definitely experimentation is important. Research is another part of learning your hair because you get to learn about ingredients. You get to learn what ingredients are in certain products, how they work, why they are good and why they aren't, and how to get or how to achieve certain looks with products that have certain ingredients. I know the huge trend right now on YouTube is to tell naturals to stay away from mineral oil. So that means if you've been used to greasing your scalp when you were relaxed, as a natural, according to people on YouTube, you should avoid mineral oil. So instead of taking what people say, taking their words blindly, you can go out and do your research. Do your research on mineral oil. Find out what it is, where it comes from, and why is it bad for your hair or why is it good for your hair. And now you've done your research and you can make your own judgment to decide whether you want to use products with mineral oil or whether you want to use products with sulfate. And I mean, what works for me may not work for you. So definitely I would say my first tip, tip number 8, would have to definitely be learn your hair through experimentation and research. So now that you have done your research, you know what products work for you, you have experimented, and you've gotten to know your hair, now it's time to take those products and to formulate a routine. Routine is very important, as well as consistency with that routine. If you want great results, you have to have a routine and you have to be consistent with your routine. For instance, I personally have chosen one day in the week. My day in the week is Sunday, and on that day I devote solely to my hair. I co-wash my hair, I deep condition, I style my hair all on that day. I try to make sure that when I wash my hair, I wash it at least once a week, but sometimes I get a little lazy, so I try not to go past 2 weeks. And this is important because the more consistent you are with your routine, the better your results. So make sure once you've done your research, you've got to know your hair, you know what products your hair really likes, you want to formulate a routine because the routine is going to be the cornerstone for getting the results that you want, whether you want your hair to be long, strong, or healthy. So definitely tip number 7 would have to be formulate a routine. Tip number 6, 3 words: moisture, moisture, moisture. Moisture equals water, water equals moisture. The more water that touches your hair is going to be indicative of how moisturized your hair is going to be. Natural hair tends to have the problem of being very dry, and the reason for this is because of the kinks, because of the coils, because of the curls, The natural oils in the scalp, which we call sebum, have a hard time moving freely down the shaft of the hair. This is going to be totally different from when your hair was relaxed, because your hair was chemically straightened, the oils from your scalp could move freely down the shaft of your hair. Water is our friend. Water is needed. You need water in your hair. How many times have I said water already? But did you get it? In order for your hair to be moisturized, it has to have water. Now, this doesn't mean that, you know, every day you need to jump into the shower and soak your hair in water or drench your hair in water. No, you don't have to do that. Now, for me, on a day-to-day basis, I tend to use a moisturizer that contains water. My favorite moisturizer, and you probably already know this if you followed me for a while, is the Shea Moisture Curl Enhancing Smoothie. Now, the first ingredient in this product is deionized water. If you don't know anything about ingredients, you know I will tell you that the first 5 ingredients in a product are the ones that are going to be the most dominant. So because the first ingredient is water, that means it's going to be more water than anything in this product, which is good. So my hair is getting that moisture from the water that it needs. Now, if you are more if you prefer using oils or butters in your hair, you definitely want to make sure that you start with a base of water in your hair, meaning that you start off with hair that is either wet or damp, and then seal in that moisture with your butter or your oil, because oils and butters do not add moisture. They are not moisturizing. They only are good for sealing. However, if you have a base of water in your hair, then when you put that oil or that butter in your hair, it's going to help to seal in that moisture. It creates a barrier around the hair shaft, and it keeps it moisturized longer. Think about a leaf that has fallen off the tree. When it's really dry and you put it in your hand and it kind of crumples and it just breaks. That's the same thing. When you keep your hair moisturized, when you keep natural hair moisturized, it keeps it from breaking. And this is very important, especially if one of your goals is to have long, natural hair. So definitely tip number 6 from me to you would have to be moisture, moisture, moisture. Moisturizing is very important no matter how much you do it. Very important tip number 5, which kind of goes hand in hand with the tip before that, which is moisture, is to make sure that you do more co-washing than shampooing. If you do use shampoos on a regular basis, you will find that your hair becomes very dry, very brittle, and is more prone to breakage. You can combat that by trying to do a little bit more co-washing. Co-washing is basically washing your hair with conditioner. Some people might think, oh, that's gross. How is your hair getting clean? I want to tell you that it's not about the bubbles, and it's not about the shampoo that's cleaning your hair. It's about the movement, the breaking up of the oils and the dirt on your scalp by massaging your scalp that is actually cleaning your scalp. So actually, conditioner is very sufficient when it comes to cleaning your scalp and your hair. I tend to co-wash most often, and when I co-wash, I like to use my Tresemme Natural conditioner. This works really well for me. Actually, it has so many purposes for me, but one of the purposes is to co-wash. Now, if you've been following me for a while, then you probably already know, but for those of you that don't, I follow the curly girl method, which is pretty much not using shampoos, but using more conditioners. Now, this is not to say that you can't use shampoo. I use shampoo every now and again, and I do that when I want to start on a fresh slate of hair, but I try to use shampoos that do not contain sulfates in them. So the shampoo that I like to use is the Giovanni Tea Tree Triple Treat shampoo. It's really good for really cleaning my scalp, and the other issue that I tend to have is dry scalp, and that's another reason why I like to co-wash, because I find that co-washing really helps with my dry scalp. Now, there are times where I don't use the Giovanni, but I want to really make sure that I get my hair clean. And what I use is the Aztec Secret Bentonite Clay. This is really good for really cleaning the hair. It doesn't strip my hair, but it really gets in and it gets rid of all the gunk and the dirt. It's a great natural alternative to shampoo. All you need to do is mix this with either apple cider vinegar or water, put it on your hair as a mask, let it sit for about a half an hour, and then rinse it out. And I'm telling you, your hair will be clean, your curls will be popping, and it's all good. So definitely tip number 5 from me to you would have to be to co-wash.